Hey guys, this is Parag with iRepairMD. It's been a while since I posted something, but I've been getting a lot of repair from a lot of people. So I apologize for not posting in a while. One of the biggest issues that I think my customer have is the Mavic, the gimbal issue. And the best-selling drone for DJI, I would have to say the Mavic. The original Mavic is still a pretty good hot item, and a lot of customers, pilots, been having issue by crashing into a tree or having issue related to the gimbal. So today we're going to address this issue. This is a drone that was sent from me from New York, and the problem was he updated the firmware and he crashed into a building, and now the gimbal won't stabilize. And so let's go ahead and run the diagnostic real quick. What we're going to do is power up controller. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and run it, plug it into my app here, unlock. All right, get the app running, and now let's take a look and turn on, put a battery in here, and then go ahead and take the bubble off. Okay, let's see what's going on with this drone here. And today I'm going to be very thorough on what the issue is. So let's go ahead and power on the drone. Let's see if we can run a quick diagnostic on this drone. Okay, so getting a video feed. It's getting video feed, getting altitude data. Okay, and let's see what the warning signs on this is. Motor load too big, so it has a motor overload, and the clamp is removed. He advised me that once he crashed it into a building, the gimbal no longer work. And the old Mavic, unlike the new Mavic, has a very fragile gimbal, and there's a video cable and a gimbal cable, and the really thin gimbal flex cable is mostly the culprit here. So let's go ahead and let's do the repair. Okay, stay tuned. Alright, first thing we need to do is power down the drone. Alright, take the battery out, turn off the controller, and let's go ahead and put it aside, and then go ahead and we're going to take the drone apart. What we're going to use is a tool. This is my favorite toolkit. It's ideal. It's actually ideal for the DJI drone. It has all the size screws you need, and this one you need a hex 5 screws here, and there are 4 connectors, 4 hex screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Correction, 6, 5, 6. Need to take out. So let's go ahead and start taking the hex screws out. All right. The tool you need from this is a tweezer and also a pry tool. So I'm going to go ahead and use my tweezer here, and we want to put all these screws in the same so we won't lose it. There we go. Yeah, the magnetic tip on the screwdriver is really good for pulling screws open. All right. Okay, so now we have the 6 top screws removed. Take the hex screws out, put the screws in the safe place, flip the drone over, and now there should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's go ahead And if this drone has never been opened before, there is going to be a resin on the tip of one of these screws. Okay, and that's a tamper-proof one. And what you need to do is go ahead and take the resin out, clear the hole right here. All right, now the resin comes off. Should be able to just go ahead, take the screws off. All right. And now we need to go ahead and open the hatch here. Okay, use a razor or a pry tool. Lift off carefully. Turn the other side. Same thing here. A razor. Go ahead, get underneath and lift. Okay. Now there's another screw. The bottom right here. There's another hex screw. Okay, take that off. And again, if this is a little complicated, you can just send it to us. There's my website, links below. All right, now you have all this pull out. Let's go ahead. What we want to do is go from the back, lift, okay? Lift carefully. There is going to be this here is a GPS unit. There's going to be a ribbon cable running down. See this ribbon cable right here? Okay, we want to pull the ribbon cable up. There you go, GPS unit off. Usually when you pull the lid, the ribbon cable does come off already. So the ribbon cable goes here, connected to that. You won't be able to fly without it. Okay, now lift the clamp carefully. Okay, now pull it forward, and there you go. Now put this out of play. Let's go ahead and get into the details. Okay, so now once you get to the gimbal, you see, let me show you a few things. All right, this is the black and white cable that powers up the gimbal, okay? These right here, it interacts with the main board. And this two front here, it comes off fairly easy and easily ripped if you're not careful. And this is the vision sensor, and this is an additional compass here. So this is the obstacle avoidance vision sensor. All right, so what we need to do is we're going to switch over to a Phillips four-head Phillips screwdriver, and we need to take these screws off. There's 4 Phillips screws that mounts the gimbal on. So let's go ahead and pull it out. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna try to give you the best angle possible. Okay. All right, there's some screws on this well right here. Zoom in so you can see it better. All right. And now we're gonna use a tweezer to pull off. Everything here is small. You almost have to be a watchmaker to fix this. But if you follow this video step by step, I won't leave out anything, so you should be able to fix it. Now on the other side, there's a screw also here. Okay. And again, when you work with these screws, there's a lot of very sensitive connection. You don't want to dislodge or sever, or else you won't have a drone that works. So be very careful in this process. Okay. All right, now we can go ahead and use a pry tool. Okay, so now that we have this, what we want to do, be very careful, is go ahead and disengage the power. So go ahead and pull this off. And with the pry tool, you want to go ahead and just pry this open. Detach it carefully, pull it out of the way. On this side, do the other interface, pry it out, pull it out of the way. And now this is a very sensitive part right here. There are adhesive that sticks onto this gimbal board really well. So what you want to do is, using the pry tool, just pull it out, break any kind of rubber bond that might be sticking. And again, same with this side. is there should be a hard rubber bond. You go ahead and just break free of it. Make sure it folds carefully, and now you should be able to drop the gimbal straight down. So now the gimbal can drop. Now go ahead and pull the gimbal through here, free up anything. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at the gimbal. All right, so we know that there's a video feed that worked. So this is the video cable here, video transmission cable. That works. The problem is going to be the flex cable here. So let's go ahead, using the pry tool, carefully lift the video cable out of play, and go ahead and detach the gimbal flex. Okay, pull it out. There we go. All right, so now there are 2 Phillips screws that mounts to the plate, the gimbal board to the plate and the dampener. So we want to go ahead and give you a close-up. You don't want to sever these cable in the process, but go ahead and take the screws out. Make sure these screws are once you replace it, make sure they're the same type of screws. And this particular screw has, you can see it has a thicker Phillip. Okay, there's one more here, so we're going to shift over. Okay, shift over here. Let's go ahead and take that Phillip out. Okay. All right, so now once we take this last Phillip out, we want to go ahead and carefully, there's a plate right here. See this plate? The gimbal plate is on a 4 rubber dampeners, and what I want to do is just slowly pull this out, because there's a notch, there's a little slot right here where the plate is, where the gimbal flex runs through. We're going to pull it out. Okay, now we keep this out of play, inspect everything, make sure everything's in good shape. Everything is. And so this is the gimbal flex that we will be replacing. Okay, this one, it's hard to tell with the gimbal flex what part is ripped or not, but you can kind of have an idea. It's going to be this area right here. Everything is so there's like 32 connections, and everything is so fine that even the slightest disturbance in the gimbal flex, like a little momentum change, the gimbal moving forward, can actually damage one connection, and that will cause the overload or the gimbal to not work anymore. Okay, so now that we have the gimbal board out of the way, we're going to start replacing the gimbal flex only. And so we have a brand new one here. You can get this gimbal flex from my website. The link is below. And this is very static sensitive, so make sure when you purchase this, it comes with a static sensitive bag, or else return it, because any static discharge will ruin the cable. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and start taking the covers off the gimbal. So this right here is the pitch motor. All right, and this is the one that controls the camera movement up and down. So let's go ahead and pitch cover. We're going to replace that. First, we're going to take all this out. Put these screws in the right place. Pitch cover screw with pitch cover screw. All right, so let's go ahead and now this right here is the yaw motor right here. So now let's go ahead and take the yaw covers off, yaw motor cover off. Okay, there should be 3. Okay, that's the other one here. Okay. All right, we'll put the yaw with the yaw. All right. Now that we have that done, now we're gonna go ahead and go with the roll cover. So this is the roll the cable. This is allow the camera to roll, horizontal you can say. This is the roll motor cover. All right, so we took the pitch off, we took the yaw off, now we take the roll off. And again, you want to keep the cable, the cover and the screws together. They're pretty much the same size. It's always a good practice though, just to keep it separate. Okay, so now we have the what we have now is we're gonna go to, first thing we're gonna address is the pitch. Okay, the pitch motor. Let's go ahead using a pry tool. Again, there is an adhesive here, and I'm gonna use my razor carefully. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in to give you an idea. All right, okay, so there are adhesives right here. There are black adhesive. So what we wanna do is with the razor, very carefully, you don't wanna damage any connection, just disconnect it. There you go, pull the adhesive off. As soon as I get a lid, I'm gonna use my tweezer and pull this out. Okay. All right, so this insulating tape right here, or mounting tape, we're gonna reuse. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna reuse it. Put it right here. Okay, now go ahead and take this off, this adhesive here. Okay, now we're working down, okay, to the yaw. This is the yaw motor, same situation, but this time you can just go ahead and just use your tweezer and just pull it off. There's going to be a tar adhesive. There you go. All right, so now we're turning it over and we're going to pull it out like we have here. Okay, this cable is no longer good, so we're just gonna go ahead and rip it out. There we go. Okay. Yeah, these flex cable are very sensitive, so once you take them out, this one is bad, so just go ahead and rip it out. Just go ahead and rip it out. Okay, so now we're going to go to the roll. So now this around, send the roll. Okay, and there's a video cable in the way. Let me move it aside a second so you can see. Now, just go ahead and pull it off. Pull it upward at an angle, like that. Okay, so now that's out of play, old cable. What I want to do, every one of these motor has a serial number, so we're gonna recover the serial number to put it back onto the new Gimbal Flex. Using a razor, I'm gonna go ahead and do a leading edge, peel carefully, okay? And I want to go ahead and transfer it to the new Flex right here. Okay. So now this is the hard part, okay? But I'll make it really easy. What we need to do is, you can see the bottom right here, okay? This goes to the main logic board of the gimbal. This will go to the pitch. This will go to the yaw, and the bottom is the roll, okay? So let's go ahead and work on the pitch. Top, go to the pitch, and this is the pitch motor here. So let's go ahead, put the pitch motor in place, okay? And now we have to make sure that this is seated, and we don't want to use anything except for a plastic pry tool to make sure it's seated. So we want to line it up like we have here, and now we're going to carefully seat it. You should feel it. Should feel a little click and I feel it right now. There's a little click here. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the tape back on. This is the adhesive mounting tape. Okay, now that we have that done, we will go ahead. This is the fun part, all right? So now we need to fold this. You see this adhesive here? Let's go ahead and free the white adhesive, exposing the real adhesive here. You should use the pry tool. Actually, you should be able to fold it out. There you go, using your fingernail. Should be adhesive on the other side too. So let's go ahead and expose that adhesive. Okay. All right, this is going to be fairly easy if you follow this step by step. So now that you have that in, now go ahead and line it up, fold it back. See how easy it is? Now you fold it like this. What you need to do now is we're working on the yaw motor next, this one here. So with this in mind, we want to fold it. See how we fold this? Now fold it back into here. So we want this loop. We want this arch or this loop, okay? So now we will expose the adhesive on the back of this one. All right. So let's go ahead and expose the adhesive. So now both adhesive are exposed, and we have a loop like this. What we need to do is go ahead and pre-fold right here. You want to pinch it. You want to pinch this, pinch it together, okay, and line it up like this. So that's how it's going to rest. So once it rests in like this, okay. So it rests in, but we need to bring this cable here to the roll. So we're gonna slide this cable into here carefully, okay? And we're gonna aid it with the tweezer to make sure it goes in, make it to the other side. Okay, now that it's on the other side, we're gonna use the tweezer to pull this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and rest. Okay, so now they have that pitch right there. We're gonna go ahead and rest it. Now we're gonna adhere adhesive to this bracket right here. And now let's go ahead and connect the yaw motor on. So let's go ahead and pivot to the point. We're gonna seat the yaw motor into place. Yaw cable to yaw motor. The yaw connector, that is. Okay, so now that is resting. Carefully, make sure it snaps into place. Okay. You might have to work it around. Okay, now I feel a secure connection. You can feel it when it's seated. It's no longer moving. So that is seated properly. Okay, so now we have, let's review this. So we have the pitch in. Okay, we fold it. We have an arch. Now we fold it again. Now we have a yaw. Now we have this cable sticking out. So what we need to do is arch it again. Loop it around to here, you see? And now we expose this cable to the adhesive. Now let's go ahead and put the roll motor into place. First we need to free up the roll right here. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Now that the roll is into place, we're going to seat it. Go ahead and seat it. Carefully seating it. Make sure you hear that little click sound, or you feel it. Now it's seated properly. All right, so now we can go ahead and put the covers back on. First thing we're gonna do is put the roll cover back on to place, okay? Want to make sure the video cover cable is aligned. Now let's go ahead and put this into place. Okay, turn. Okay, and so now one more Phillips screw to take care of. Phillips screw here. All right. So now we're gonna do the yaw, okay? And the yaw will have yaw cover will have 3 screws. So we wanna slide the cover. There's an arc right here and there's a lip. Let's go ahead and put that in the right place. Okay, make sure everything is snug. Okay, let's go ahead and put the screws into place now. Okay. Here we go. Tighten the screw up. All right, so let's go ahead and use a tweezer to guide this one through. These things are like almost watch quality size. A little bigger, but again, this is still a challenge because it's microscopic for most people. All right. Okay, now we have 2 more covers, right? 2 more screws to replace in the yaw motor. Put that into place. Let's go ahead and fasten this screw. 1 more left on here. Okay. So now we have the roll motor right here, and we have the yaw in place. Both are working freely. Now we can go ahead and do the pitch. Okay, and the pitch motor, make sure that these cables, especially the video cable, are not underneath any kind of screw port, or else you will sever it, and it's an expensive cable to replace. So let's go ahead and put the cover on. Then we're gonna go ahead and make sure that none of this, I want to bound it up right now. I'm gonna twist it a little bit, okay, to make sure that that the covers are not pinching the cable. Let's go ahead and put the screws into place. Tiny screws. You drop it, good luck finding it. If you do lose these screws in the process, you can actually contact me. I'll be glad to sell you a set. I don't sell individual ones. I sell them by the set, and they're pretty reasonably priced. They're hard to get hold of. Okay, so now we have the gimbal assembly ready. All right. Now we're gonna mount it back onto the gimbal. Okay, so now you can see that this is the bracket, and it's attached to a dampener plate. And then there's a main gimbal logic board. So we're gonna run the flex cable through this loop right here. Okay, other side. Pull this loop up through here. Okay, and now we're gonna mount it back. We're gonna use that 2-bolt Phillip to hold it into place. Okay, I'm pinching this forward a little bit so you can see, giving you the best angle possible. Again, it's all about camera angles. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt screws back into place. Okay, the bolt screw is magnetic, I hope. Should be. However, it might have lost some charge to it. All right, so let's go ahead Let's put this into place. There we go. Okay, so now loop here. Okay. Let's go ahead and tighten it. Give you a better angle. Right here. All right. Now we got one. We're gonna skewer the second one. The second one is fairly easy. Let's find that bolt screw again. So this is my bolt screw. Put it in. Take my screwdriver here. And now just find the screw holes right here. And go ahead and tighten it. Okay. So now we have this mounted back. Let's go ahead and put the gimbal flex back in this connector. So this is the gimbal flex. Make sure you seat it properly. You line it up. Don't force it. It should go in. Just line it up right here. And now press down on it. Okay, I'm being extra cautious here to show you guys. Okay, so now it's seated properly. And now we'll go ahead and put the video cable back into place. And again, you want to seat it carefully also. Don't want to damage any connector in the process. Okay, now you can use your thumb. Press evenly back and forth right here. And now that's connected. Let's go ahead and put the connection back into the drone. So now you have this part of you have the power cable. You want to run it through this loop right here. So there's an opening in the gimbal mount assembly of the front of the drone. Okay. Now go ahead and lift it in place. Okay. So I'm holding on to it now. Now let's go ahead and put the screwdriver back in. And let's put one mount in. So we're going to start with this one here. We're going to drop it into place. Okay. And now that is mounted. Let's go ahead and put the rest of the screws into place. All right. And the one in the front, right here. One more left. Okay. So now let's go ahead and seat the obstacle avoidance sensor left and right back in. All right, you have to work with adhesive here. Make sure that it's seated properly, and it is. Now let's go ahead and do it on the other side. Making sure it is seated properly. You can actually feel it. You can hear a little, you can feel a little click in it. Now let's go ahead and put the interface with the main logic board and the other interface cable into place. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put the power cable back in. Okay. Turn the drone around. We're going to put the cover back on. However, we're not going to screw it on completely yet. Let's go ahead and put the cover back on. GPS slot into place, because we got to test this before we screw everything up. Back, I mean. Okay, we don't have to snap it on too hard. Let's go ahead and test the connection. Let's see what the drone will do. Let's go ahead and power it on and look at the gimbal. Let's see what happens. There you go. Now the gimbal stabilizes. Let's go ahead and power on the drone. Okay. It's connecting. All right, now let's look at the gimbal. You can see it responds. Okay, now let's look at the video feed. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at the video feed. Make sure everything is working. Ready to fly. All right. And you can see the gimbal works. And now let's go to the, let's not do a firmware update yet. Let's check everything else. So everything else is working normally. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put everything back in. Okay. Then power off everything. All right, now to power down the drone, take out the battery. We're gonna go ahead and put the screws back into place. Okay, and now let's go ahead and work on the shell. Okay, the way we put the shell back on is we make sure everything is snapped in first. Now we concentrate on the sides right here. Let me fold this up and show you guys. See? So now go ahead and snap it into place. Front side, snap. Now the other side, go ahead and snap. All right, so everything's in place now. Let's go ahead and start. Put the screw back into the bottom. Okay. Switch off back to the T screw. Right here. On this side. Again, if you're interested in purchasing this tool that I use for this, you can get all the supplies for the repair and the tools from my website, and the link is below. Okay, let's go ahead and put the bottom cover back on. Other side. This is a fairly thorough video, and if you do like what you see here and you want to get some more repair tips and keep up to date with any information relating to DJI drones, this is my name is Prak. I'm with iRepairMD. We also have a company called Aris UAV, which we design custom skid that allows you to land these drones on water, and also the Aris Raptor skid has a higher profile, so you can land it on sand or any muddy surface, because you can see right here, all these drones have very sensitive sonic sensor and obstacle avoidance and vision camera, and if they get dirtied or they get waterlogged, they no longer function, and then your drone will become useless. So, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a lot of headache, or however it goes. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the screws onto the back side of this. See right here. And this drone will be ready to go after this. Okay. And then the well, there's 4 screws in the well here. All right. Okay, one more left. All right, so this is all done. And let's go ahead and show you what we did. So what we did was repair the flex cable to the Mavic 1 drone. And you can get the cable from my website. As you can see, Gimbal 100% stabilized. Anyways, this is Prac with iRepairMD. Safe flying and safe repair. Have a good day.